towering alpine peaks crowned with medieval castles, cobblestone streets winding through half-timbered villages frozen in time, emerald rivers flowing past terraced vineyards and ancient fortresses. Welcome to Germany, a land where fairy tales spring to life. Where history and innovation dance in perfect harmony, and where nature's grandeur meets human ingenuity at every turn. This is Wandersphere, where today we're exploring the extraordinary wonders of Germany, a nation that seamlessly blends its rich historical tapestry with cutting-edge modernity. From the mist-shrouded mountains of Bavaria to the vibrant streets of Berlin, from romantic riverside castles to architectural masterpieces reborn from war's ashes, Germany offers experiences that awaken the imagination and stir the soul. Germany boasts more than 20,000 castles scattered across its landscape, from famous fairy tale palaces to hidden ruins, averaging one castle for every 12 square miles of German territory. The country has more than 1,500 different varieties of sausage and over 1,300 types of bread, with distinct regional specialties protected by law. Germany leads the world in renewable energy innovation, with more than 40% of its electricity coming from renewable sources. On particularly sunny and windy days, the country has produced up to 85% of its electricity needs from renewables. The Christmas tree originated in Germany during the 16th century, while the tradition of the Easter bunny first appeared in German writings from the 1600s. Even the modern concept of kindergarten was a German innovation. Our journey begins at Neuschwanstein Castle, the ultimate fairy tale fortress perched dramatically above the Bavarian Alps. This magnificent white limestone palace, with its soaring turrets and spectacular mountain backdrop, has inspired everything from Disney's Sleeping Beauty Castle to countless fantasy films. Commissioned by King Ludwig II of Bavaria in 1868, Neuschwanstein represented a retreat into romantic fantasy for a ruler increasingly detached from reality. Despite its medieval appearance, the castle incorporated cutting-edge technology, including central heating, running water, and telephone lines. What makes Neuschwanstein truly magical is its perfect harmony with the surrounding alpine landscape. From Mary's Bridge, suspended over the Pullet Gorge, visitors capture the classic view of the castle against a backdrop of mountain peaks and pristine lakes. Fun fact, despite its massive scale, Neuschwanstein remained unfinished when Ludwig died in 1886. Only 14 rooms were completed, out of a planned 200. This icon was nearly destroyed during World War II when retreating SS forces planned to blow it up, but a brave German officer defied these orders. From Neuschwanstein's fairytale turrets, we journey into the majestic Bavarian Alps, Germany's stunning southern border, where snow-capped peaks, emerald meadows, and crystal-clear lakes create landscapes of breathtaking beauty. This alpine wonderland offers some of Europe's most spectacular mountain scenery. The crown jewel is the Zugspitze, Germany's highest peak at 2,962 meters. The journey to its summit via cable car rewards visitors with panoramic views across 4 countries. On clear days, visitors can see more than 400 mountain peaks stretching to the horizon. Nestled among these dramatic mountains lie picture-perfect Bavarian villages, where colorfully painted houses adorned with intricate murals create living postcards against the alpine backdrop. Each settlement maintains distinctive folk traditions, preserving a way of life intimately connected to the mountain environment. Fun fact: the Bavarian Alps are home to Germany's unique tradition of Bergkäse, mountain cheese, production, where small alpine dairies operate only during summer months, when cows graze on high-altitude meadows filled with alpine herbs and wildflowers. From the Bavarian Alps, we travel north to Rothenburg, Ob der Tauber, perhaps the most perfectly preserved medieval town in Europe. This walled city represents the quintessential German fairy tale town that has miraculously survived the centuries largely intact. Rothenburg's preserved medieval walls stretch for 3.5 kilometers, punctuated by 42 towers and 6 gates that surround a townscape of remarkable architectural harmony. Inside, a labyrinth of cobblestone streets reveals colorful half-timbered houses, Gothic churches, and intimate squares that have changed little since the Middle Ages. The town's centerpiece, the Marktplatz, features the Renaissance-era town hall, with its 60-meter tower offering panoramic views. What makes Rothenburg truly special is its lived-in quality. Despite being one of Germany's most visited destinations, it maintains an authentic charm that transcends tourism. Families still live in many of the historic houses. Local craftspeople continue centuries-old traditions, and seasonal festivals connect modern residents to their medieval heritage. Fun fact: Rothenburg owes its remarkable preservation to a strange twist of fate during World War II. As American forces advanced toward the town in 1945, the U.S. Assistant Secretary of War, John J. McCloy, recalled seeing paintings of Rothenburg in his childhood home. He ordered artillery commanders to avoid shelling the historic center, saving this irreplaceable medieval gem from destruction. From Rothenburg's medieval perfection, we journey west to the Middle Rhine Valley, a 65-kilometer stretch of Germany's most storied river, where vineyard-covered slopes rise steeply from the water's edge to castle-crowned heights. This UNESCO World Heritage landscape represents the quintessential romantic vision of Germany. The Rhine Gorge features the highest concentration of castles in the world, with more than 40 fortresses and ruins perched dramatically along its length. Each castle tells a different story, from the imposing Marksburg, the only hilltop castle on the Rhine never to be destroyed, to Pfalzgrafenstein, built on a tiny island in the middle of the river to collect tolls from passing ships. Perhaps most famous is the Lorelei, a 132-meter slate rock rising vertically from the narrowest point in the river, where legend claims a beautiful siren lured sailors to their doom. The steep slopes flanking the river have been terraced for wine production since Roman times, creating one of the world's most challenging viticultural landscapes. The region's Riesling vineyards produce wines whose mineral character reflects the slate and quartzite soils. Fun fact, the Middle Rhine Valley was Europe's first major tourism destination, becoming wildly popular in the early 19th century after Romantic poets and painters like Lord Byron and J.M.W. Turner immortalized its dramatic landscapes. From the Romantic Road, we journey to Lake Constance, Bodensee, a vast alpine lake whose shores are shared by Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. This 63-kilometer-long body of water combines Mediterranean-like climate with alpine panoramas, creating one of Germany's most distinctive landscapes. The lake's German shoreline features a string of historic towns and island treasures. The medieval island town of Lindau captivates visitors with its picturesque harbor, guarded by a 6-meter-tall lion statue and Bavaria's only lighthouse. Nearby, the flower island of Mainau dazzles with botanical gardens featuring over 1 million tulips, dahlias, and roses. In Constance, Germany's largest lakeside city, a well-preserved old town showcases 1,000 years of architectural history. The lake itself becomes part of the experience, with passenger ferries connecting the shore towns and providing spectacular views of the snow-capped Alps reflected in crystal-clear waters. During summer, the lake transforms into a recreational paradise with sailing, windsurfing, and swimming. Fun fact, Lake Constance harbors an unusual political anomaly. Its northwestern arm remains the only significant territory in Europe with undefined national borders. The German states consider the border to run through the middle of the lake, while Switzerland maintains that the border runs along the shore, making the waters jointly owned by all three nations. From Lake Constance, we journey north to Heidelberg, Germany's most romantic university city, where an imposing Renaissance castle crowns a hill above a perfectly preserved old town and the gentle Neckar River. This city, largely spared from World War II bombing, offers one of Germany's most harmonious urban landscapes. Heidelberg Castle, a magnificent red sandstone ruin that dominates the city skyline, represents the pinnacle of German Renaissance architecture despite its partially destroyed state. The fortress contains the world's largest wine barrel, the famous Heidelberg Tunnel, capable of holding 219,000 liters of wine. From the castle's terraces, visitors enjoy panoramic views across the old town's red-tiled roofs and the Neckar Valley. The city's intellectual heart beats within Germany's oldest university, founded in 1386. The university's most unique feature is the Studentenkarzer, student prison, where generations of misbehaving scholars were detained for offenses ranging from nocturnal dueling to stealing chickens. Fun fact, Heidelberg played a crucial role in the development of Romanticism when a group of English-speaking travelers discovered the city in the early 19th century and immortalized its castle ruins and picturesque setting in their works, establishing it as the quintessential romantic German destination. From Heidelberg, we travel east to Dresden, Florence on the Elbe, a city of extraordinary artistic treasures that has risen phoenix-like from the ashes of World War II. This former royal capital of Saxony was reduced to rubble by Allied bombing in 1945. Its painstaking reconstruction represents one of the most remarkable architectural resurrections in European history. The city's historic center showcases spectacular landmarks along the Elbe River. The Frauenkirche, Church of Our Lady, with its distinctive stone dome, was rebuilt over 13 years using 8,500 original stones recovered from the rubble. Nearby, the Zwinger Palace dazzles visitors with its ornate Baroque pavilions, while the Semperoper ranks among the world's most beautiful opera houses. Dresden's artistic wealth extends beyond architecture to collections of extraordinary significance. The Green Vault contains Europe's largest treasure collection, including the 41-carat Dresden Green Diamond. The Old Masters Picture Gallery houses masterpieces by Raphael, Titian, and Vermeer, while the Porcelain Collection showcases the finest examples of Meissen porcelain. Fun fact: Dresden's skyline features the Dresden Baroque, a distinctive version of the Baroque style that incorporated engineering innovations to create buildings of unprecedented lightness and grace. The Frauenkirche's dome was built from sandstone rather than traditional materials, making it the largest stone dome north of the Alps and a marvel of engineering. From Dresden, we travel to Munich, Bavaria's sophisticated capital where tradition and innovation coexist in perfect harmony. This city of art, culture, and joie de vivre maintains a small-town atmosphere despite being Germany's third-largest urban center. Munich's historic heart centers around the Marienplatz, dominated by the neo-Gothic New Town Hall, whose elaborate facade features 43 bells that perform the famous Glockenspiel show 3 times daily. Nearby, the twin copper-domed towers of the Frauenkirche have symbolized the city since 1488, while the Grand Residence Palace complex contains treasures spanning 400 years of Wittelsbach dynasty rule. Beyond its historic treasures, Munich embraces the pleasures of life with infectious enthusiasm. The city's beer culture finds its ultimate expression in the world-famous Oktoberfest. But locals don't wait for festivals to enjoy their beloved beer gardens. The Augustiner Keller and the Chinese Tower Beer Garden in the English Garden buzz with multi-generational groups enjoying the Bavarian tradition of Gemütlichkeit throughout summer months. Fun fact: Munich maintains a unique atmospheric phenomenon called the Föhn, a warm, dry wind that flows down from the Alps, creating days of exceptional clarity when the mountains appear close enough to touch, despite being 100 kilometers away. From Munich, we travel north to Berlin, Germany's endlessly reinventing capital, where history's darkest chapters and humanity's brightest aspirations collide on streets that have witnessed world-changing events. This sprawling metropolis, divided for 28 years by the infamous Berlin Wall, has emerged from the Cold War as one of Europe's most dynamic, creative, and forward-thinking cities. Berlin's historical significance reveals itself through iconic landmarks that have become symbols of both division and reunification. The Brandenburg Gate, once marooned in the wall's death strip, now represents Germany's unity, while the glass dome of the renovated Reichstag building offers visitors panoramic views of a city once divided by ideologies. The East Side Gallery preserves a 1.3-kilometer section of the wall, transformed into the world's largest open-air gallery with over 100 murals celebrating freedom. What makes Berlin truly exceptional is its constant evolution. Unlike cities that preserve a single historical era, Berlin embraces change, with each generation adding new layers to the urban fabric. This creates striking contrasts. Cold War-era TV towers looming over Prussian cathedrals, ultra-modern glass buildings reflecting Baroque palaces, and abandoned industrial spaces transformed into cutting-edge arts venues. Fun fact: Berlin contains more bridges than Venice, over 1,700 spans crossing the city's rivers, canals, and railway lines. This extensive water network made Berlin a major inland port, despite being 150 kilometers from the nearest coastline. Cologne. From Berlin, we journey west to Cologne, a city founded by the Romans 2 millennia ago, whose skyline is dominated by one of the world's most magnificent Gothic cathedrals. This vibrant Rhine metropolis combines a 2,000-year history with a famously irreverent spirit. Cologne Cathedral represents the pinnacle of Gothic architecture, a UNESCO World Heritage Monument whose twin spires soared 157 meters above the city, making them the world's tallest structures when completed in 1880 after 632 years of construction. This architectural masterpiece houses treasures including the Golden Shrine of the Three Kings and the Garo Crucifix, a monumental oak sculpture created around 970 CE. Beyond its architectural glory, Cologne embraces life with distinctive passion, most evident during its famous carnival celebrations, Europe's largest street festival outside of Rio. The city's 12 Romanesque churches form a ring around the historic center, each containing artistic treasures from different periods, while the Romano-Germanic Museum displays artifacts from the city's Latin origins. Fun fact: Cologne gave the world its first mass-produced cologne, developed in 1709 by Italian-born perfumer Giovanni Maria Farina, who named his creation Eau de Cologne after his adopted city. This revolutionary scent became a sensation across Europe and was especially favored by Napoleon. From Cologne, we journey north to Hamburg, Germany's gateway to the world, where an 800-year maritime trading heritage has created a cosmopolitan city-state with a distinctly outward-looking character. This historic Hanseatic port combines merchant grandeur with cutting-edge urban development. Hamburg's identity centers around its spectacular harbor, the country's largest port and Europe's third busiest container terminal. The historic Speicherstadt Warehouse District, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, features the world's largest complex of interconnected warehouses with neo-Gothic brick buildings standing on oak piles along a network of narrow canals. This atmospheric district has been cleverly repurposed to house attractions like the world's largest model railway, Miniature Wunderland. The city's recent crown jewel, the Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall, represents Hamburg's forward-looking spirit, a daring glass structure resembling a hoisted sail atop a massive former warehouse, creating one of the world's most sophisticated acoustic environments. Fun fact: Hamburg contains more bridges than Amsterdam, Venice, and London combined. Over 2,500 spans crossing the city's rivers, canals, and harbor basins. This extensive water network earned Hamburg the nickname Venice of the North. From Hamburg, we journey south to Leipzig, a city shaped by musical genius, revolutionary spirit, and remarkable regeneration. This Saxon metropolis has survived both wartime destruction and communist-era decline to emerge as one of Germany's most dynamic and creative cities. Leipzig's musical heritage stands unrivaled, with connections to more major composers than any other German city. Johann Sebastian Bach served as cantor at St. Thomas Church for 27 years, where his remains now rest and where the St. Thomas Boys Choir, founded in 1212 and one of the world's oldest continuously operating musical institutions, still performs his cantatas weekly. Felix Mendelssohn revitalized the Gewandhaus Orchestra, while Richard Wagner was born here, and both Robert and Clara Schumann lived and worked in the city. Beyond music, Leipzig earned its place in history as a catalyst for peaceful revolution when Monday demonstrations starting from St. Nicholas Church helped bring down the Berlin Wall in 1989. Fun fact: Leipzig contains Europe's largest monument, the 91-meter-tall Battle of the Nations Monument, commemorating Napoleon's defeat in 1813, when 600,000 soldiers from 6 nations fought the largest battle in European history before World War I. Our German journey concludes in Frankfurt, a city of striking contrasts where gleaming financial skyscrapers form Europe's most impressive skyline, while medieval half-timbered buildings cluster around historic squares below. This international business hub balances cosmopolitan sophistication with traditional Hessian culture. Frankfurt's historic heart centers around the Römerberg, a picturesque square flanked by meticulously reconstructed medieval buildings, including the three-gabled Römer, which has served as the city hall since 1405. Nearby, the Gothic-towered Frankfurt Cathedral witnessed the coronation of Holy Roman emperors for centuries, while the Goethe House preserves the birthplace of Germany's greatest literary figure. This historic core creates a striking juxtaposition with the city's ultra-modern financial district, dubbed Manhattan for its impressive skyline rising along the Main River. The 259-meter Commerzbank Tower pioneered sustainable skyscraper design with its innovative garden atria, while the 200-meter main tower offers public access to its observation deck. Fun fact: Frankfurt hosted the world's first international trade fair over 800 years ago, a tradition that continues today with the Frankfurt Book Fair, the world's largest trade fair for books dating back to the 15th century, when Johannes Gutenberg revolutionized printing in nearby Mainz. As our journey through Germany's most spectacular destinations comes to a close, we hope you've glimpsed the extraordinary diversity packed into this multifaceted nation. From fairy-tale castles to cutting-edge urban landscapes, from mist-shrouded mountains to vineyard-covered river valleys, Germany offers experiences that speak to both our sense of wonder and our appreciation for human achievement. What makes Germany truly special isn't just its individual landmarks, but how they weave together into a cultural tapestry of remarkable depth and complexity. This is a country that has reinvented itself repeatedly throughout history, preserving the best of its heritage while continuously innovating. The destinations we've explored represent just a fraction of Germany's treasures, with each region offering distinctive landscapes, traditions, and flavors waiting to be discovered. From the wind-swept beaches of the North Sea to the alpine meadows of the Black Forest, Germany rewards those who venture beyond the famous highlights. Thank you for joining Wandersphere on this exploration of Germany's most captivating wonders. If you've been inspired to discover these treasures for yourself, please hit that subscribe button for more journeys to the world's most extraordinary places. Until our next adventure, this is Wandersphere, celebrating our planet's most magnificent destinations, one journey at a time.